regarding Runkle Canyon. You know, I'm very curious. Why do you want to kill me? Why do you want to kill my family? Why do you want to kill my friends? And why do you want to kill yourselves in the whole process? You know, Runkle Canyon is contaminated. There's lots of tests out there stating the facts, okay? It's right down from the worst nuclear meltdown in American history, okay? You all need to wake up, because it really seems to me that you guys want to build on that land. You want KB homes to build on that land, and you know, that's going to destroy lives, and you don't even realize it. I mean, if there's strontium-90, if there's readings of strontium-90 in that soil to any extent, you know, you digging that up and bringing that into the air that we breathe, do you realize what that's going to do? I mean, do you guys even care? I mean, I'm just really curious. I really am. And that's all I really have to say.
Hi, thanks for hearing me today. My name is Adam Salkin, and I just wanted to comment on the Runkle Canyon and what I learned has gone on there over the last number of years. In the late 1990s, Green Park Runkle Ranch, a development firm, bought the Runkle Canyon property. In December of '98, they started their environmental investigation of the property, hiring QST Environmental to do preliminary soil sampling. In February of '99, QST results indicated that presence of strontium-90 had exceeded the EPA's average local background in all the soil samples they took. Then, in June and July of '99, Green Park hired Foster Wheeler Environmental to do additional soil sampling. They collected 58 soil samples in a grid pattern. In October of '99, the results came back. All 58 samples exceeded the EPA's local background figure for strontium-90, averaging 6 times higher than the EPA's preliminary remediation goals, with the hottest sample being the one closest to the Santa Susana Field Lab, which measured 237 times local background. Next, in March of '03, Green Park hired Miller Brooks Environmental, who then took 6 soil samples. Unfortunately, they used detection limits that were wrong. In other words, not sensitive enough to pick up the strontium levels that are of concern to this community. And even with those detection limits set so high, readings were still picked up at levels 10 times EPA's preliminary remediation goals. Then, in June of '05, the DHS and the developer's lab, Dave Moeller, took split samples. The samples didn't match up, but all of Dave Moeller's samples were still above the natural background levels for strontium-90. The hottest sample they took was still nearly twice EPA's preliminary remediation goals for strontium-90. After all this, in the summer of '05, KB Homes and Lennar bought the Runkle Canyon property, and now on their website refer to these past soil samples that I've discussed just now that were mostly done by the developers' labs as extensive, independent, scientific testing that indicates that the property is suitable for residential development. And they go on to write that no new information has been presented that would call into question those conclusions. I find this statement to be unbelievable. Everything I read is filled with an avalanche of sufficient information, both new and old, that proves just the opposite. The information is pouring off the Santa Susana Field Lab every day, right into the development site, and all we are asking is that it be tested by a truly independent source, using the correct detection limits, and all of the previous information is looked at for what it really is. The National Academy of Sciences has reported that no amount of low-level radiation exposure is safe, and here we see test after test done even by the developer's lab that show levels of radiation that exceed the EPA's preliminary remediation goals and the background levels in this area. I think the only safe thing to do is not to build houses right up against the Santa Susana Field Lab, a site that is known to be one of the most dangerous places in our country, a site that is so dangerous that an agreement has been made by the state not to build houses on it. And now I believe that that same agreement should be made for contaminated land that surrounds this site. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Miller. This is David Carey. This is the first time addressing this council. I'd like to say I think you guys have done a terrific job in the past. I know there's a competition between Thousand Oaks and Simi about the safest cities in the country, and I think a lot of that is good on you, Mayor Miller, and what you used to do as police officer. What I'm trying to bring up today here is what is not so good on the council. I'm going to present some data from the Chatsworth Reservoir. And I'll just go straight into it and then I'll explain the relevance. Beryllium was found at 30.75 times greater than the EPA standard Chatsworth Reservoir. Cadmium at 137 times, lead at 149 times, arsenic 321 times, if you can get that number. Barium 8.9 times, antimony 29 times, and chromium, total chromium, that is 32 times greater than the EPA standard. Vanadium was found at 6.9 milligrams per liter, which represents 462 times the California Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment. What's relevant about the Chatsworth Reservoir is it's in a basin much like this valley is too. What's on top of the mountain gets down in the valley. And nickel perchlorate's been found in Dayton Canyon at 62 billion parts per million. Get that number. Strontium-90, cesium, plutonium effectively has shut down that developer, Centex Homes. Similarly, if you look at what happened over there with Amundsen Ranch, why did that get shut down? This also has to be shut down in Runkle. This is the data that they're keeping secret, Los Angeles City Department of Water and Power, from the public. It is available online in the DOE ETech site. What I'm also like to point out to you is nickel was found at 280 times the action level. So we have a parallel here between what's on the mountain that's going down to the east, to the south, to this side. And what's on top flows down here. There's been reports through the years of helicopter drops of 20 uranium ignites or spent fuel rods, 20 of them. They went and searched for all 20 of these. They only found 19 of the 20. There's still one out there they've been looking for years. There's this stuff called DBP, which causes reproductive toxicity in women. And when they're pregnant in that stage of development for the fetus. 10 times detection limits in the Chatsworth Reservoir. This other stuff called DEHP, which is bis-2-ethylhexylphthalate, is found at 353 times detection limits. So please, you guys are pretty smart. You had a safe city. Think about the future generations. Think about your grandkids, your neighbors' grandkids, and the future. I'm not necessarily born and raised in Simi. I'm from Chatsworth. But I have a lot of friends here, work here, a lot of activities my family happens here. And I'm worried about my friends, family, and really all of you and your futures because I care about all of it. I don't have an axe to grind with anyone. McDonald's was running it up. Thank you.